Welcome to our December edition of Fridley's Community Connection. The cold weather has returned, which means Winterfest is right around the corner. Plus, we meet Jax. Fridley's new canine hits the streets. And we look at ways to enjoy a safe holiday season. Thank you for joining us. I'm Raquel Strand, and this is Community Connection. You may have seen Jax in his public debut at the Fire Open House. This new police canine completed training this fall with Officer Tom Roddy, and together they are already making a difference in the community.
This is Jax. He's a 2.5-year-old Belgian Malinois. Most police dogs you see nowadays are either German Shepherds or Malinois. You can see that their faces look very similar. The difference between a Malinois and a German Shepherd, though, is the Malinois is a little bit smaller dog. As you can see, his body frame is much smaller than our other police dog, Nitro. One of the benefits to that, though, is generally their bodies will last longer and they can work with us for longer. And also they're sometimes a little bit faster and they have a little bit higher drive. I got Jax, actually the city purchased Jax, and he arrived June 5th from the Czech Republic, and I took possession of him just about immediately, so he came home with me. He lives at home with me. He lived at home with me for a month, and he rode around with me for about a month before we started training, and then we went through 10 weeks of training, and Jax now is certified through the United States Police Canine Association. His certification is labeled as Police Dog 1, which is all the normal tracking and suspect apprehension and different agility that a police dog has to go through. And then he's also certified as a narcotics detection dog. So he's what we refer to as dual purpose. He can do normal police activities, plus he can be used to search out narcotics if need be. Jax will hopefully last between 8 and 9 years working with the police department, and he's been utilized a few times so far. So we actually graduated from school on September 11th, and since then we've been on the street together, and he's been deployed, as we call it, in a street capacity, I believe 8 times now. 2 major events were both one was a robbery of a business, one was a robbery of a person, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do on both of those incidents. The first one, he actually tracked right to where the suspects had brought the victim's purse, and they took off some clothing, and then he was hot on their trail, and they were actually apprehended by another police officer who was down the road. And then a most recent one was there was a business which was robbed in Blaine, and Jax and I went up there to help out. And Jax tracked right to where the suspects had brought the cash registers that they actually took from the business. Unfortunately, that time the suspects weren't apprehended. However, he did do exactly like he was supposed to, and he did very well. One other thing to note about Jax is when we went through school, the actual graduation date, we had to test out as a normal yearly certification would be. And 8 canine handlers from around the metro area were brought in to judge us, and out of a possible 700 points, Jax scored 694, so he did very, very well. And he's been just a great dog, and I'm very excited to be working with him, and he seems very excited to be working as well, and we're very happy together. Both Jax and Nitro are in the process for acquiring ballistic and stab-proof vests. We Sergeant McClish and I, on behalf of our dogs, we applied to a group called Vested Interests in Canines. It's a nonprofit group. It's actually nationwide, but there's a chapter here in Minnesota. And basically, we went through an application process. We submitted a biography about the dog, some photos of the dog, our working relationship, and our training together. And both Nitro and Jax were chosen by that group to receive ballistic and stab-proof vests. I believe all the funding has been received for that now. They're doing some stuff in the background right now as far as putting the last things through and finalizing the measurements of the dogs, because they're actually custom built for the dogs. Therefore, they fit them properly. They don't interfere with them being able to run, jump, walk like normal. So those are on the way, and hopefully they should be here probably within a month now, because I believe they were accepted about 6 weeks ago, and the normal time frame was 10 weeks. So we should be receiving those shortly, and those will be a great addition for these dogs. These dogs do a lot for us. They definitely protect the normal police officers, and they do a great job as far as quick suspect apprehension or locating missing persons for the community. So I think it's quite vital that we do what we can to also protect them and take care of them. So I'm pretty excited to be able to, that we're able to receive one of those, and it'll be great once we can add that to our toolbox.
You may get a chance to meet one of our police canines at this year's Winterfest. This is just one of the many things you won't want to miss as we step out to celebrate Minnesota winter. Indoors and outdoors, this festival offers fun for the whole family. Cleve and Margot give us a sneak peek at this year's event and other winter activities.
Hello, my name is Margot Numedal with the City of Fridley Parks and Recreation Department, and with me is
Cleveland McCoy, Program Supervisor.
Great. Now that fall is finishing up here, we've really enjoyed the great weather we've had this year. We're looking forward to the winter season. One of our highlights we'd like to share with you is our big event, Winterfest, that's held at the end of January each year.
Winterfest has both indoor and outdoor activities at the Fridley Community Center. Some of the indoor activities that we have are kids games, DJ and family dance, bingo, arts and craft. And to highlight our outside activities are the dog sled rides.
In addition to the indoor activities we have going on for Winterfest, we have a variety of things going on across the street from the Fridley Community Center at Commons Park. We have 2 hockey rinks up there where we'll have a youth hockey tournament. We also have a horse-drawn hayride to take families around on a tour of the park. If it's chilly out that day, we do have a big bonfire that you can come and roast marshmallows and make a s'more and just enjoy some time warming up in front of the fire. The sledding hill is always open as long as we have enough snow that time of year, and then the rinks are open, the oval and the other rink, for anyone that wants to bring their skates and just enjoy some time out on the ice rinks. If you're wondering about the walk back and forth, if it is a really chilly day that day, we do have a shuttle bus that can take you back and forth between the Fridley Community Center and Commons Park, so feel free to park near either place, and that way you can get to all of the events really easily.
One of the most popular events throughout the Winterfest activity is the $100 medallion hunt, sponsored by the Springbrook Nature Center. Clues will be given every half hour beginning at 12:15. And if you're hungry during the search, we do have concessions at the Fridley Community Center.
Winterfest is still in the planning stages, so we have more to come as we continue on through the winter months. Please check out our website or our flyers and brochures for more information.
In addition to our Winterfest event, we have a lot of winter activities available.
One of our highlights for youth is during the holiday break. We do have a variety of field trips for kids in grades K through 5. We'll be going snow tubing at Green Acres, the Cinema Grill and the Works Technology Museum, and also the Big Thrill Factory. These are all full-day field trips. They begin at 9:30 and end at 4 o'clock, and there is an option for extended hours as well. So if you need that care from 7:30 to 5:30, that's available.
To highlight one of our most popular activities during the winter season is the Valentine's Day party. This year we're going to have 2 parties. The party's on February 12th. We have 2 parties for both groups. So we have 5th and 6th grade from 3:15 to 5:30, and 7th through 9th grade from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Well, for the younger elementary kids, we have Valentine parties as well, one at Hayes and one at Stevenson Elementary, and they take place right after school on Friday. The Hayes party is on the 5th of February, and the Stevenson party is on the 12th. In addition to those parties, we have a variety of after-school activities as well for this age group. One of our more popular things going on in the winter is the Floor Hockey League. We have one for each age group during January and February. We also have arts and crafts classes. We'll be having a clay class, as well as some ice skating and outdoor snow sports during these months. So hopefully you can get bundled up and get your kids ready for some outdoor fun.
We like to take advantage of our Minnesota winters. We bring some sports programs for adults. We have our co-rec broom ball, men's brew ball, and men's boot hockey league. Registration begin in October, and leagues will begin in early January.
We also have a variety of programs for preschool age youth in the community. Ages 3 to 5, we have some different classes going on in the winter. We have a floor hockey class, basketball, gym jam, and a little athletes program that'll be starting up right away in January.
To keep up with your New Year's resolutions, we do have some adult fitness classes available this winter. We have a partnership with More Than Dance Studios in Fridley. We're going to bring to you a free kettlebell demonstration class with some of our kettlebell classes followed right after. And then another class that we're going to bring is the new dance and tap class. I think that's going to be really exciting, and it seems like they're going to bring in some really great instructors. Of course, we still have our Zumba programs, so we have Zumba toning, Aqua Zumba, and then we're going to introduce Zumba Gold.
As always, if you need more information about any of our programs, you can look at our website or certainly call our office as well for more details. We are looking forward to seeing you out and about this winter.
Kick off the new year and join us for Winterfest 2016. Saturday, January 23rd, from noon to 3 p.m. Enjoy indoor activities at the Fridley Community Center and outdoor fun at Commons Park. Plus, join the medallion hunt for a chance to win $100. Look for details online at fridleymn.gov. Many of us have already embraced winter with family gatherings, holiday parties, decorations, and yummy foods. Unfortunately, those candles, strings of lights, and hot stoves also bring some fire dangers. Here's Fire Marshal Rick Current to help us prepare for a safe holiday season.
Hello, my name is Rick Current. I'm your Fire Marshal here with the Fridley Fire Department. I just want to take some time to talk to you about some fire safety. Today we want to talk about cooking safety. Cooking fires remain the #1 cause of fires in the state of Minnesota. So here are some tips you can follow to help keep your kitchen safe. Number 1, when you're cooking, you want to keep the area clear. They say keep a 3-foot radius of children not around here so they don't touch the hot stove, oven, and get hurt. Second, you want to keep your stovetop oven area clear of anything that can burn, combustibles. You don't want to have these paper towels here. You don't want to have your dish rag right here that can start on fire. You want to keep those clear. Loaf of bread right next to it, that can melt and start a fire. So you want to keep that area clear. Another thing is when you're cooking, make sure you take your pan handle, turn it to the inside. That way you won't knock it over, or if kids do come through here, they won't knock it over at all either. You want to have a fire extinguisher handy, somewhere near the kitchen, maybe under the kitchen sink or whatever. A smaller fire extinguisher would do just fine in the kitchen. Another feature is a safety knob. You see these sometimes on door handles so the kids can't open a door. You can do the same thing here with the handle of the stove or oven, depending what kind you have. You pull that off, just put that in. Kids can't, especially the handles that are down here. That way they can't turn the stove on, the oven on by accident at all. If you have to leave, you never want to leave when you're cooking, but you have to, get a timer. Set a timer up. This one happens to have a magnet on. Set the timer, set it for 1 minute or less to remind you to get back into the kitchen. Because when you're cooking, it does not take long for that to get out of hand, especially if there's grease in the pan. Now I'm going to talk to you about what happens if you have a grease fire. Number 1, do not panic. If fire starts coming up from a grease fire, what you want to do is grab your oven glove or mitt. 2 things. Either take the pot, the cover, slide it over. That'll snuff out the flame, and then turn your burner off. If you don't have that, this is a pizza oven, another big pan cookie sheet. The flame's coming, just slowly approach it, put that over, turn your burner off, the fire will be gone. You never want to put water on a grease fire. If you throw water on a grease fire, even if it's just a small amount, that fire will explode up and you'll get severely burned. Another feature, this time of year you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners, people like to clean their oven. If your oven has that cleaning feature, you'll lock the oven door, you'll turn your setting to clean. What that does is superheats your oven, because it burns away all this junk that you have in there. A lot of times you're going to have smoke coming out. Sometimes people even see some flames. That is normal, depending how much grease you have in there. If you have a lot of grease, you may want to do a little cleaning before you do that, because once this is set, you cannot unlock this feature. We get a lot of calls right before Thanksgiving when people are cleaning their oven because they think their oven's on fire, and there will be smoke coming out of here because it's superheating all the grease and everything that's fallen off and is in your oven. One other feature that's out there is it's called the stovetop fire stop. You can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's. Basically, it's like a tuna can with the magnet, and inside it has a powder, what's like in your fire extinguisher. And with this magnet, it clips up under your range like that, and if the fire comes out, it heats up and it'll pop open, and all the chemical will come down and put your fire out. Here is one that was in a fire, and basically see how it exploded and all the powder came down and put the fire out. One word of advice: if you're using a fire extinguisher, you want to be careful. The acronym is you want to pass, you want to pull your pin out, you want to aim, squeeze, and sweep. And you do not want to be right up here over the fire, because A, it can come back to you, or you can spread it over your stove and oven. So if you just use some common sense and some of these safety tips, it'll be much safer in the kitchen. Now that the weather's turning colder, some of you may be using a portable space heater to keep warm, which is fine. You want to keep a 3-foot clearance around this also, and not have it close to like this chair, this blanket that may cause fire. You want to make sure you have a distance through there. If you're using your fireplace, make sure it's several days after you've used your fireplace before you scoop out your coals and put them in your garbage can. Sometimes you may think they're cool, but once you scoop them up, add some air and stir them up, they will get hot again. So make sure you don't put hot coals in your garbage can, and all of a sudden pretty soon you have a garage fire. If you're using candles to set the mood or whatever, do not leave candles unattended, or make sure they're clear area and they're not next to curtains or drapes. If you're setting up your Christmas lights, make sure they're plugged into a surge protector, and you don't want them just into an extension cord. Take the time, make sure your CO detector and your smoke detectors are both working. It's getting in the winter time, it's very important that your CO detector is working because your furnace will be running. People may be warming their cars up in the garage. You can find these tips and many others both on the website, and you can follow us on Facebook, and these tips will be on there also. So from all of us to you, have a safe holiday season.
Winter also brings safety challenges with icy driveways and parking lots. This can be especially difficult for independent seniors who need a little extra help getting around. That's where Store to Door lends a hand. This nonprofit organization brings together volunteer shoppers and seniors to take the stress out of grocery shopping.
My name is Lee Bailey Sealer. I'm a store coordinator for Store to Door, and I work in this Cub food store where our volunteers are shopping for groceries for our senior clients. Store to Door is a grocery shopping and delivery service, and we provide access to groceries for seniors who don't have access for whatever reason. Maybe they have physical limitations, maybe they have mobility issues, but for whatever reason they can't get groceries for themselves, so we get them for them.
My name is Chuck Hoffman, and I'm a volunteer order taker for Store to Door. I help elderly people who are unable to get out and buy their own groceries to get their groceries that they need. I've been doing this for about 6 years, and what I do is I sit at home in front of a computer, I call up the client on the phone, and they tell me what they need for groceries. I look it up in the online order system and submit the information. So it enables them to stay at home and get their groceries, so I do the legwork along with other volunteers.
Currently we serve over 1,700 seniors in the Twin Cities. We rely really heavily on local volunteers. So we work closely with the Fridley Community Center, and we have over 600 volunteers who do all kinds of jobs for us. They come to the grocery store early in the morning 4 days a week and shop for groceries. We have, of course, volunteer order takers who who talk to our clients and take their order and figure out what they're going to order from a database of over 50,000 items. We have volunteers who work in our office, do various jobs, and we have really great volunteer teams who go out in the community and do outreach for us and connect us to the seniors in the community.
I got into this role because I was looking for a way to do some additional things to help other people. And when I heard about Store to Door, it seemed like a great opportunity to really pay back to the community. I could see how these people can use some help, and it's something I could do to help them and add some value to their lives and a little spark to their day as well. I currently have 5 clients, and I call each one of them once every 2 weeks. I talk to them for a fairly short time and take their orders. It's a pretty light load for me, but it helps them in a big way. When the order is placed, the client automatically gets any discounts that Cub is offering currently, whether it requires a store coupon or just an automatic sale item. They take advantage of those. They don't have to do anything extra to get those. I really love helping these people because it does help enable them to maintain their independence so they can stay in their own homes, whereas otherwise they might have a difficulty doing that.
If you would like to make a difference in the community and volunteer with Store to Door, or know someone who could use this service, you can find out more at storetodoor.org or give them a call at 651-642-1892. This month, get into the holiday spirit and step back in time at the Fridley History Center. Mayor Scott Lunn and his wife Cindy stepped out in true Charleston style at the grand opening of the Roaring '20s holiday display. Each year, the Fridley History Center features an era of holidays past, and this December they celebrate flappers, speakeasies, Tin Lizzies, and more. You can experience the Roaring '20s now through December 26th, and admission is free. The Fridley History Center is open Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Tuesday afternoons from 1 to 3. Don't miss out. It's sure to be the bee's knees. And now, here's City Manager Wally Weisselpohl with the Council Update.
Hi, welcome to the Council Update for November. I'm Wally Weisselpohl, City Manager. The City Council met on November 9th and the 23rd. We had workshops prior to both meetings, and now I'd like to give you a little update of what we did. Our workshops involved, first of all, a funding request from Alexandra House. Alexandra House came to the City Council and asked for some additional money as a part of a 2016 city budget. We had a budget workshop on the 23rd, and this took several hours, and this is where the City Council gets all the details about the budget. This wasn't the first budget meeting for the year, this was about our third one. And each time the city staff presents the budget to the council with issues and concerns that the council may have to make sure that the budget is balanced and providing the services that the city council desires. We also had an update on the city building study, and that took place on the 23rd. And there'll be, as a result of that, some meetings in December on the 16th with the Planning Commission and the HRA and the City Council. And those three groups will talk about the possibilities of a new city building over on the Columbia Arena site. There also will be an open house on December 28th with regard to the building study and the needs analysis, and also some ideas of what the Columbia Arena might look like with a municipal building and public works garage there. So those are things to look forward to in December. Back to our November meetings, the City Council ordered plans and specifications for the 2016 street reconstruction project. And this will take place in the Plymouth neighborhood. It's a continuation of the 2015 program that began. This will be in the area between 45th and 49th and University and Main Street. Plans and specifications are done by the city engineer to make sure that the project is feasible and is necessary and has a cost estimate built into it. Then the next phase, if it's accepted by the City Council, is to go out for bid for that project later in winter of 2016. Construction would be in the summer again of 2016. The city heard a public hearing on a proposed change to the floodplain ordinance. Now, this is being required by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and also with the state of Minnesota, DNR, to identify the floodplain and where the possibilities of flooding are within the city. And those areas are basically along Rice Creek and then again along the Mississippi River, with some areas around Moore Lake as well. Now, that map was developed back in the 70s, and it includes a floodplain line, and that line was developed using more mechanical instruments, and now with digital instruments, the line can be more specific, and that line has changed in several places in the city. Why is that important? It's important so that those property owners can get flood insurance from the federal government sponsored program. And this change is taking place, and the council had a public hearing on it, had a second public hearing on it, and hopefully we'll get that all completed by the first of the year so that anyone in town who currently has flood insurance would be eligible to have that flood insurance again. There's more information on the city's website if you'd like to take a look at that map. We also had a text amendment hearing on the zoning code, and there were lots of zoning code changes that were being proposed, and the council wanted some more time to take a look at that, so we continued that public hearing into January when the council will have more opportunity to understand the impact of some of those text changes. A text change is just the words change within the zoning code itself, and sometimes they could have profound impact. So the council wants a little bit more time to take a look at that. We also saw a final plat for Talmadge Way. It's a street in Fridley. A plat is what sets up the actual property lines within a neighborhood, and the property owner there was doing some amendments to the line so that they can do some redevelopment of their housing in that area. We approved a towing contract with Schmidt Towing. Now, the city has a towing contract because if there's an accident that takes place or a car is parked where it shouldn't be, we don't have our own towing trucks. We call on a private tow firm to come out and immediately take care of that situation. So we have a contract with Schmidt Towing, a local firm here in Fridley, and that's for 2 years, and it sets the rates of what we'll be charging, what the towing company would charge the private person for that. We took a look at amending our business license process so that it is more streamlined and less cumbersome for businesses and causing delays and that type of thing. We had a first hearing, and a second hearing will take place in December. And then we also did a couple things for the Springbrook project. The second phase of the plans are being ordered, and that will do more of the landscaping outside the building that's being constructed right now. And then the second thing was that we ordered the construction of the exhibits for inside the building, and that's being done by Split Rock Studios. So it was a busy time in November for the City Council, and we appreciate you taking a look at what's going on. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at City Hall or take a look at our website. I'm Wally Weisopel. Thanks for watching.
As the snow starts falling, we'd like to remind you that there is no parking on city streets from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. now through April 1st. Our hard-working snowplow drivers work long hours to make sure that the streets are clear as quickly and safely as possible. Please help them out. That's all for this edition of Fridley Community Connection. Have a safe and wonderful holiday season, and we hope to see you at this year's Winterfest. I'm Raquel Strand. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.